by her partner. As a lawyer, I can tell you how challenging it is to bring anyone in to talk about a sexual assault. It is virtually impossible. It's a big part of why we have such massive underreporting of sexual assaults. And what did ICE do? They came and arrested this woman who was brave enough to come in and testify about being raped. That is bullshit. That's not acceptable to anybody. And it's something that we have to do something about. Now, some of you may have seen some of this stuff about the warehouses that have mysteriously been turned into camps, right? And we've seen some things where we had this man who set this $500 million warehouse on fire. And one of the things he said is, if you had just paid us a living wage, we wouldn't have to do this. He's been arrested now. There are going to be charges for that. And as I saw this story, you know, in general, we don't want to encourage people to engage in criminal behavior, right? There are going to be people who lose their jobs from this, things like that. But I also think it's important to remember what he was talking about. His take-home pay in Ontario, California was $2,520 a month. One bedroom rent in that town is $2,028 per month, according to Apartments.com. And that leaves for food, medicine, a phone, everything else, $493 a month. You wonder why this guy was so stressed out that he was willing to set a warehouse on fire. Look at this. This is not acceptable for anybody. And I say this as somebody who grew up poor on a chicken and turkey farm, right? I grew up without money. I know what it's like to struggle to not be able to pay your bill. My dad worked 3 jobs for my entire childhood to make sure we had food and a roof, right? I know what this feels like, and it's awful. And one of the things is you see this frustration from not just every day, not being able to provide your kids with the things you want, not being able to give your life, but then shit like this happened in the exact same week. And hang on, we got somebody coming in. At Amazon, a worker literally dropped dead. The supervisor told the other employees, you can't go give them CPR. You have to keep working.
Oh no.
And the person died. We wonder why people are setting warehouses on fire. And the answer is this slide and the one we just saw. When you have $493 to space out over food, medicine, doctor's visits, everything, and that's not with insurance, right? You think this guy's going to the doctor? And then you're at an Amazon warehouse where they tell you, no, just look the other way when your coworker dies. This is why people are furious. It is impossible to make it when you're in these types of situations. We've also got this war in Iran, right? We've all seen it, whether we're at the gas pump and the prices are now up over $1 a gallon, to putting our soldiers at risk, right? We've already lost some of our soldiers, and this is something that over 60% of Americans, Republicans and Democrats, think is not a good idea. Then we had this happen within the last week. ICE has started actually going into schools. Going into schools. Now, if you remember, about a year ago, I went to our school board and said, hey, we should get prepared to make sure that ICE can't come into schools because they're going to. And our school board acted like we were crazy when we organized that. Remember that? They said, oh no, ICE would never come into school. Where's ICE now? Just this week in St. Louis. I grew up on a farm about an hour from here. Sorry. No, you're all right. Those are some of the things I noticed that I was angry about. What are you guys pissed off about?
The same thing.
Same things. There we go. What else?
The war, of course.
The war.
And, act like he's Jesus.
That Jesus picture was hard. I was hard to tell from all the profanity that comes out of my mouth, but I was the vice president of my church. So
we knew the blasphemy was coming. We just didn't know it would be this quick into his administration.
Ongoing assault against DEI.
yeah, we have a lot that we could be angry about right now. But remember, your anger is a gift. Your anger is a gift. Because as Dr. King taught us, it's not enough to just be angry. Our job is to organize and unite people so that that anger becomes a transforming force. And that's what we're here for today, right? Is to make sure that we don't just sit here and piss and moan about the things we don't like. Our job is to try and change this place so that the things we don't like get changed. That's why we're here, right? And we talk about this at every meeting. What is your why? You guys, come on in. Yeah, come on in.
I got some things I want to
They want
do. Oh, they're gonna bowl? Y'all gonna bowl? Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I got them this close.
Don't get them out now.
There we go. Especially after that. This is going to be one of our candidates who's here to just observe today to see what we're all about. Come on in. I got 4 kids. In fact, you're about to see a picture of them because when people ask, why are we here, right? Why are we taking time away from our family? We're away from relaxing. We could be sitting on the couch right now, right? Why are we here? That's my wife and I on our first date when we were 19. That's us at a wedding last summer. She has less rights today than she did when we got married.
But both of you got younger.
Yeah, amazing, right? I know. When you see that picture, you're like, Jenny, you look the same. Drew, you are also featured in this photo.
And you had hair.
Exactly. That was the old bait and switch, right? I was like, yeah, of course I'm gonna always be a college level runner in stellar shape. I'm also here because of my kids, right? All 4 of my kids are adopted. I shouldn't have to be worried whether my kids will make it home from school because ICE is now raiding schools. I shouldn't have to worry that they're going to teach my daughter that slavery was a positive in Florida. You guys know what I would call that, but we have a little one in the room, so my language will be toned down. What is your why? Why are you guys here today? Who wants to tell me why they're here today? You're here for the first time. Tell me why you're here.
Yeah, I think we need to recognize
There we go. I like it. I like the tattoo too. We got some great tattoo people back here also. So, why are you here?
To fight fascists.
To fight fascists. Why are you here, Misty?
My why is connected to my righteous anger from earlier. I'm paying attention to the food shortages around the world and the food deserts and the inaccessibility we already have here. That's only going to get worse.
Yep.
Just the fact, literally millions of people are starving because
Oh, yeah.
we have a fascist in America.
Oh.
It's insane. Or
And-
dying of AIDS, or
Yeah.
their parents are dying of AIDS. It's like the death and destruction is insane.
And as a farm kid, I can tell you that's about to get a lot worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Because our farmers cannot afford the diesel to run their tractors. Our farmers cannot afford the fertilizer
Yeah.
that's being held up in the Strait
I
of
mean,
Hormuz.
literally
The number of my friends and family from where I grew up that are probably going to lose their family farms is through the flipping roof.
Britain and Canada are already telling their people you need to be driving on certain days, you need to be doing 4-day work weeks. They're already trying to prepare.
It's going to be
gonna be
a
bad.
challenge. Susan, what's your why?
The insurance problems, that people can't get, like a cancer patient can't get what she needs, treatment,
Yeah.
because she's denied.
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
denied. Usually by an algorithm, not even a person.
Yep.
Vicky,
I'm mad at it all.
there we go. I like it, Vicky. Tell me
All
what.
of it. All of it.
All of it?
Development, the idiots that are sitting in county commissioner's seat, the one sitting up there in the governor's house that thinks he's God. He doesn't really does. They all think they're just, the one that can control lives. Well, guess what? We're gonna end up, you not controlling our lives, we're gonna control yours.
Exactly. And so, yes.
I'm tired of the war crimes.
Yeah, and when I hear these things, it's because we all want better lives for our friends, for our family, for ourselves, and even for people we don't know. Janet?
deregulation. We have so much, the green stuff that we had, and now he's gonna put oil rigs everywhere and
Sell our
Yeah.
national parks.
Oh, yeah, because the gold.
Yeah, so I
Already
mean,
happening.
there's a lot of reasons why
Yeah.
this is important to all of us, right? Whether it's seeing what's going on outside, whether it's making sure that we have safe food to eat and clean water to drink, to seeing all of the other things we've talked about here. There's a lot of reasons to be here today. So we have a lot of reasons to be angry, and we got a lot of reasons to be in this room. So let's focus on what brought us here together about a year ago, whenever I took over, and we said, we're gonna lay out a strategy and we're gonna change this club. Because a year ago, this club was on life support. We were at 13 members. We are at, we're between 50 and 70 now, somewhere in that zone, Misty?
Paid a little over 50, yep.
And so we said we are going to lay out a strategy. And that strategy is going to focus on doing the work in the community. Because the first and foremost part of politics is helping your community, right? And as Democrats, out here, we didn't have a single person representing us, right? From our local level all the way to the presidency, we didn't have a single Democrat. We had zero power in politics. So what could we do? We could help our community, and we could do so visibly in our East Hillsborough shirts, and then that would draw more people in, which is how we went from 13 people to our 60 or 70 people that we have now. Drawing people in then would give us more money, more volunteers, and the capacity to rally more voters. And when that happened, where our theory was that we would have influence and we'd be able to do good with that. So, we had our strategic plan, and what did this look like last year whenever we changed? We had 16 people at the meeting where I was elected to be president. We have over 60 members now. Our bank balance was less than $1,000. We've more than tripled. We're over $3,000 now. In November 2024, we got our butts kicked in that election, right? So, what did it look like? We were basically Dumb and Dumber of clubs, right? We were we got no food, we got no jobs, and our pets' heads are falling off of the Democratic clubs. That was us. We implemented this strategy, and what did we do? We got to work in the community. We got to work making sandwiches, feeding the hungry. And what did that do? That drew more people to us. We got to work helping our Teamsters who were on strike, trying to get a fair wage, like the people we were talking about from those warehouse fires. We made sure that they were supported, and they won this strike. We supported the Out of the Darkness Walk, so that people who were thinking about suicide knew they were supported. We fielded the largest team, and we were one of the top 5 fundraisers to make sure that people were supported in their darkest moments. And we're going to have more of that with this war in Iran. This is how my wife and I lost her brother after Iraq and Afghanistan. We lost him to suicide. That's going to happen again to a lot of families, and we have to be there for them. And we did it. We started the Hillsborough Whistle Watch to train people to protect their friends and neighbors from ICE. As of this weekend, we've trained over 1,000 people in Hillsborough County. Over 1,000 people. We did the work, it drew in the people, and then we got to this stage of money, volunteers, and voters. At that point, because we had established ourselves, we were able to say, hey, look, we've got a lot more people here. We've done the work, we've got our people. What else can we do? Let's look at this money, volunteers, and voters. What did we do in this club? We got to work. Not just on helping in the community, but in getting Democrats elected. We worked to get Brian Nathan elected. We wrote hundreds of postcards to get him elected. We sent hundreds of texts and calls to help get him elected. We also gave him a bunch of data, because you have a president who's a giant data nerd, right? We were able to give him the best fundraising list, according to him, that he ever had, using data. We were able to give him the data on every single house in his entire district that had a veteran in it. And it had someone who either leaned left or was an NPA. So that's where he called, and he called every single one of these houses. It was 6,531 houses. He called all of them. And when you looked at those returns on election day, and you saw Republicans flipping to Brian Nathan, it was this list that did it, that came from East Hillsborough. This was us. We did this. When they needed to cure ballots, they called us to say, hey, we have missing numbers. Can you guys get it? Because they knew we did the work and we had the data expertise to actually get this done. And Brian Nathan upset his opponent and won this election. We did the work in the community, and it drew people in. Drawing people in then gave us the street credibility with politicians to say, hey, maybe they can help us with voters. Maybe they can help us with volunteers. maybe they can help us get elected. That is going to give us influence. Why do I say that? Because that is a text from Brian Nathan himself, thanking us for what we did. Couldn't have done it without us. Couldn't have done it without us. We helped him with money. We helped him with voters. We helped him with volunteers. And what happens? Now we got a state senator who says he couldn't have done it without us. We're about to have influence, guys. In a year. In 1 year, we went from a point where the chair of the county party told me not to take over as president and to let this club die. She was wrong then, just like she's wrong now. We're not going to let this place die because it's worth saving. Our community deserves representation, and we're not going to let it go. No more of this. Right? This is not us anymore. We're no longer Dumb and Dumber. Over 60 members. A bank balance that's more than triple. We're in the community every freaking week invisibly. And we have been instrumental in helping elect Brian Nathan, and we're gonna be instrumental in flipping 2 seats from red to blue in Plant City next month. We're gonna talk about that later in this meeting. But remember, they couldn't have done it without us. This club could have been gone, but we did it. I would like to thank our board. Can you guys stand up, all of our board members? Because you guys see me. We don't see all of these people. All of those members. I every single week. When we have picnics, I didn't have to set up anything. Chris and Susan did everything. Christmas party,
Don't
Shannon
forget
did
Emmett.
everything.
Don't forget
Emmett
Emmett.
did all the cooking at the picnic. Misty's perpetually running our community so that we know how many people we have. Laura just joined us. She's going to run all of our numbers. We'll have even more than $3,000 next year when we get to it. No pressure. So we stopped talking and we started doing. As soon as we started doing the work in the community, all of the rest of these things just happened. Why? Because this is about helping your neighbors. All of them. Every last one of your neighbors, helping them to make the community stronger. Speaking of which, we have a guest speaker here today, my friend Sonny, who is running to be the honorary mayor of Brandon. So if you remember when we were in the Parade of Lights, they had the honorary mayors. Sonny is running to be the mayor, and when you run to be the mayor, it's not like you get paid. What she's doing, she's raising money for 2 charities, the Angel Foundation and Hope for Her. With that, I'll let Sonny come up and talk about who she is and what she's going to do. But this is another way to support the community right here.
Thank you, Drew. First of all, I am so impressed with everything you do. I'm so proud of you. He's amazing. Drew and I connected a couple years ago through Leadership Brandon, which is a group of business, owners that get out in the community, and we kind of learn all about the ins and outs of what makes this community go, and we leave a legacy project and do some community service. So that's where we met. We connected over, our whys, right? Like, we live in the same community, we both have children, that's who we make our choices for every single day. And then as far as running for honorary mayor, it's not something I woke up and just said, that's what I wanted to go do. These are 2 charities that I feel very strongly about, and I had the opportunity to get out and raise some meaningful funds for them. So a little bit about me, my background. I have 2 children, 16 and 10 years old, and we've been in this community for a long time. My background's a nurse anesthesiologist. I'm also a local business owner. I own Afterglow Aesthetics and Wellness, a med spa right here on Falkenberg in front of the Iceplex. And we went through a lot of these struggles. My husband's Juan Carlos is from Colombia. We got married right after 9/11, and I thought that, we just send those papers and everything's fine. So they denied our marriage and flagged us as fake. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we failed the interview, our legal marriage, and we went through 6 years of immigration court. We did everything right. We filed all the right paperwork. We did, we stayed right. They pulled his work permission, his driver's license, his social security number. Like, it was hard. Eventually they did approve him. He's now, but not until our second child was almost 1 year old. So yeah, we were married for over 15 years whenever he was actually approved for his citizenship. So they definitely don't make it easy whenever you're trying to do everything the right way. So the charities that I'm running for are Angel Foundation. They've been back around Brandon for over 20 years, and they really just help families in crisis. Whatever it is, they step in, they find the need, and they meet everyday needs. The fire that was on Parsons just a couple days ago on Sunday night that took out several different places, those are some of our local business people here. They didn't have insurance. Some of their places are just completely demolished. So Angel Foundation is stepping in with them. Don't know exactly what we're going to be needing for them, but we're just stepping in and plugging in where we can to help them. Hope for Her. Hope for Her, if you don't know Hope for Her, they are a place that helps women with domestic violence. So after they leave these situations, what does life look like after that? You know, anybody can leave, but then if you usually have children, like what are you doing? What is everything else? How are you surviving? How are you providing? So they go on the walk for years with these women, finding them meaningful work, finding them housing, getting their kids the things they need, the stuff inside their apartments, and they stay on the journey with them for a long time. They're also a hub for over 300 nonprofits in the area that really just plug you into all these different places that can help whatever it is your situation. So this whole month of April is going to be April 1st through April 30th. We have a bunch of different events. So our next event is tomorrow night at the Boulevard Supper Club. It's out in Fishhawk. It's going to be a bourbon, bags, and bingo. So we're playing bingo, and you can either win purses or bourbon. And then next week on Monday, the 20th, we have Legends Escape Room right here on 60. At 6 p.m. and 7:30, we have their facilities closed down, and they have 6 different escape rooms that we're running through, and all the proceeds are going to them. They donated the time, their employees, the facilities, everything is 100% going to go to the causes. And then our last event is going to be on April 28th at 1916 Irish Pub right here on Robertson. And so we're going to do a Mayor's Mike night. It's going to be a karaoke night. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and that'll be, the way we end our month. So looking for support. If you guys know businesses that have, could be able to donate, like.
What is the best way to support?
Show up. Like, we would love to see your faces, if you can.
She's got a Facebook page for this. If you look her up, or if you look up Sunny Moreno, one of the things that will pop up is Brandon Mayor. And then on that page will be all of this contact information so that you can see each of these events in detail and see if you can maybe make it to one and meet other members of the community. This is a great way to get out there and meet people we don't always mix with, right? As Democrats, when we come to a Democrat meeting, we don't meet everybody in the community. These are great ways to get engaged with other people who care about what's going on in the community.
No, absolutely, I appreciate that. Yeah, so if you guys want to follow Sunny for Mayor Facebook page, it does have all of our information. So really, just any way that you guys can plug in and support, I'm more than grateful just to be here and meet you guys and see everything that you're doing.
And how do you get elected?
It's dollars or votes. So at the end of the month, whoever raises the most money is the honorary mayor.
On her Facebook page, there's a link where you can donate.
You can. Yep.
All right, so on her Facebook, sorry, go ahead.
It's Sunny for Mayor, and this is the profile picture right here for those of you who would like to see it.
And so, hey, look, times are tight for everybody. We've talked about that. If you have the capacity to donate, this is a great way to donate to something that's outside of our normal Democratic circles that helps the community make change. And if you remember, one of the things that we did when SNAP benefits were lost is we pulled together a set of resources for people who needed food assistance. One of the places that helped us do that, Hope for Her, because they put out that community resource guide every year, and that let us know where every food place in East Hillsborough was that would help people who were food insecure. So these are causes that we've already been utilized, standing on the shoulders of giants. Here's an opportunity for us to give something back if we can. So.
I can't say that. I
All right.
appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for
Great.
having me.
All right, so what else do we have? Treasurer's report. Laura, you're up.
Yeah. Just the balance, basically.
That's it, very much.
Yeah, the balance is $3,542.07.
So more than triple, by the way, for our annual thing. I hadn't seen the new numbers. All right, minutes, Janet, we good?
I even brought some to the meeting this time.
Look at that. So if anybody would like to inspect the minutes, they are free. I'm pretty sure the librarian's got it nailed down. Membership, Misty, any updates?
Nothing at the moment.
Okay, cool. If you haven't renewed your membership, you can do it right on the website with the join the EHDC button. Housekeeping. At our board meeting, one of the things that we discussed last week is dealing with the fact that we have these 287G agreements between ICE and our local law enforcement. One of the things that is particularly troubling about that is it limits people's willingness to work with local law enforcement, because now it is unsafe for them to do so, whether maybe their spouse has not yet finalized their legal entry into the United States, or they're concerned about anything else related to their status or a friend or family status. In fact, under the statistics, essentially Florida Highway Patrol has done loosely 75% of the ICE-related arrests here in Florida. The bulk of the arrests in Hillsborough County that have not come from Florida Highway Patrol came from our Hillsborough County Sheriff. Now, what stinks about that is our sheriff, I've had wonderful experiences with that, right? I'm the president of the PTA at Mintz. At Mintz Elementary, we had some weirdo videotaping the kids. The school there, because he was standing across the street, couldn't do anything about it. But because I'm the president of the PTA and there's really no jurisdiction, I could. So I called the sheriff. Called their non-emergency line because it wasn't, it was urgent, but not an emergency. They were there in under 5 minutes. They caught this guy. They made sure that he never came back. And then to make sure the kids felt safe, they were in front of that school every day for a week, right down the street from where Sonny lives, at the elementary school that my kids go to. People won't call them for those types of things if they're worried that they're going to come in and grab their kids at school. People won't call them for things, whether it's a sexual assault or anything else, if they're worried they're going to work with ICE.
Child abuse.
Child abuse, same deal. Yeah, from our social workers. We definitely, we have lots of these types of things.
Yeah, the calls are tanking. It's not good.
So, here, the Tampa Immigrants' Rights Committee is starting a campaign to end the 287G agreements here in Hillsborough with ICE. And what they're asking them to do is essentially to sign off in Tampa and with the Hillsborough County Sheriff to say, hey, let's get rid of these 287G agreements. Now, the likelihood that this will result in that is almost zero. I'll just tell you right now. This is not a fight we're going to win on this one, but what this will do is it will lay the foundation for us to be able to push this in the next election and the next to say, hey, this has to change because we have to be able to rely on our local law enforcement. So we were asked, would we be willing to sign on to say, hey, we want the 287G agreements to end? As a board, we voted yes. Now I want to bring it to the body to see if you guys would be comfortable with this as well. Can we have someone make a motion that we sign on to this, to the campaign to end the 287G agreements, which basically means we just sign off on a form as East Hillsborough.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Do we have a second? And we have a second. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. All right, the ayes have it. We have approved it. I will sign this probably tomorrow. All right, now, as we know, as we talked about, there we go. Our whole goal is to help in the community, right? Because that's what we want to really get accomplished. Peanut butter and jelly ministry, next Friday, making sandwiches for the hungry. If you're available, Friday, the 24th, next Friday the 24th, 8:30 to 10:30, at Nativity Catholic, right on 60, okay? It's a great time. Hundreds of people in the room. You get to just sit down and make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Anna was there the last time that we were there with my kids. It was over spring break, so we had all 4 of my kids making sandwiches. It was fantastic. We have an MS walk happening in Tampa, and they need volunteers. They need volunteers, so you don't have to walk. I'm not asking anybody to do this big walk, but they need people for pre-event setup. They need people to explain why they're walking. They need someone to be a photographer. There's all kinds of opportunities to get involved with a debilitating disease. Help them raise money to do what they need because they just need bodies to do some of the work. If this is something you're interested in, this is on our website. So is the peanut butter and jelly site. Paint day. We have a lot of people in this community who can't afford to take care of their homes. Paint day is an opportunity to show up and they're gonna paint more than 100 homes for low-income seniors, veterans, and disabled residents free of charge. Full disclosure, exterior house painting sucks. That's how I paid my way through law school. I hate that job. I would literally rather do anything. And as a guy who grew up on a farm, that's really saying something. I loathe exterior house painting, so I don't want to like cut the legs out from underneath this. But if you don't hate exterior house painting, this is a great opportunity to get involved and help somebody in the community in need, right? Somebody who's disabled, somebody who's a veteran who can't afford to paint their house. You can make their house look nice again. You can make them feel good and that their community cares about them. We can make a difference with this.
As somebody who has stripped and painted his grandparents' house, headphones make it a lot better. Just you're able to listen to your own music, jam away, and just start chipping away at paint. So.
And not to
It's
age
still
myself
gonna
here,
suck
but
on
that
that
stuff
40.
didn't exist when I was a house painter, so you had to listen to the radio. So
Yeah.
a little bit different. All right. Registering voters. One of the areas that the Democrats are massively behind is in bringing in new voters, okay? There are always new rules about what needs to happen in order to register new voters, right? Why? Because our Republican government has said we want to make this as complicated as possible to try and depress Democratic registration. So what can we do about that? We can get trained to know what exactly are the legal requirements to register new voters, okay? This is really important, and I'll tell you why. The Democrats and the Republicans have three core areas of data. They know who's registered as a Democrat. They know who's registered as a Republican, and they know who the NPAs or independents are, third parties, right? What they don't know is who is not registered to vote. You guys happen to have a nerd as a president. I know who's not registered to vote because I own that data. I want us to become the club that registers the people who aren't already registered to vote. Which means I need some of you to volunteer to sign up for something like this. Because we need bodies who know the rules, because you guys know I'm gonna break rules, and I need someone to tell me, no, Drew, let's not go to jail today. Right? So who wants to be in charge of keeping Drew out of jail this month? So, if you can, take a shot of that link. This is the same thing Rudina has been talking about when she's come in, is getting people trained within our club to do this. Because remember, we're the club that stops talking and starts doing, right? We need to fix the hole that the Democrats have and register new voters. We can do that. I have a bunch of data on left-leaning people who are not registered to vote. We just have to have the training to be able to come out and go get them, right?
Drew,
Yes.
the 25th and the 26th, the Curtis Hickson Black Heritage Music Festival, they will be there doing exactly that. So I've already signed up.
There we go.
It is Saturday. Let me make
Okay.
sure I have the 25th and Sunday the 26th, there's openings still available. So if anybody wants to, it's on Mobilize, but it's called it's Black Heritage Music Festival at Curtis Hickson.
All right.
That should be
And Vicky's
fun.
only 50-50 on keeping me out of jail, so we need at least one more of you to do that. Depends on what I've done in the most recent day. All right, tomorrow, we signed on to sponsor a school board panel with the Equality Social with the LGBTQ plus caucus, okay? This is an excellent opportunity because we've talked about the school, I mean, heck, we've talked about the school board here tonight. This school board, as it currently sits, banned more books than any school board in Florida. Books about black kids, brown kids, gay kids. They took those books away. We have the current chair, the new chair of that school board, sitting right here, who's gonna be there taking questions. I'm going and I'm asking a question.
Ask her why she voted.
My wife is going, and she's a public school, every year's a badass, who founded a public school in Chicago. She's gonna ask the question. I wanna know where they stand on why we don't require ICE to have a judicial warrant before they can come into school. Like what we just saw happen in St. Louis, where they don't have those requirements, our kids are at risk. We've been asking them this for a year, and the school board didn't respond under the prior chair, Jessica Vaughn. Let's see if the new chair will do a better job. we've got 2 new candidates to be the school board member for this area, where I've got 4 kids in the public schools. Let's find out where they stand on book banning, where they stand on ICE coming into our schools. I want to find out who's worthy of support, and I'll tell you why. Because again, as a nerd, what do? I know all the rules. Those of us who are in leadership here had to sign something called a loyalty oath, saying we will only support Democrats when they're in office. Now, you know one thing that's real interesting about that, though? The school board is a non-partisan election, which means East Hillsborough, which now has the name as the hardest working club here in the Democratic Party, doesn't have to support a single one of these morons if they are unwilling to keep our kids safe and keep books on the shelves. Let's make sure they know that.
Maybe Ms. Perez know that since you voted to.
Oh yeah, I think that would be a great idea.
All right,
So
they do know that.
all of this stuff has gone off of Mobilize and onto what's the new thing called? Chris, what's the new thing?
I
Solidarity.
have absolutely no idea.
Solidarity Tech. They just signed a new thing where they just ended the contract with Mobilize and started with Solidarity Tech. So, but if you search for this, you'll be able to find it. It's tomorrow night from 6 to 8 o'clock at 1920 Ybor. Come in. Let's hear from our existing school board chair and our 2 potential members that we're going to get to vote for. And let's see who, if any of them, is worthy of a vote. Right? Because we're not just going to blindly support Democrats. We're not going to do it. We fight. If they're not willing to fight, they don't get our work. Because we're valuable now, right? They want us. We don't need them. We got LULAC, the League of United Latin American Citizens. This Saturday is doing a training, 10:30 to 12 o'clock at the TNC Public Library in the community room. Address is there at the bottom. They're going to have immigration attorneys. They are going to have other immigration experts in the room to talk about what are your rights, how can you keep yourself safe. This is an excellent opportunity to learn additional things outside of the training we've already had through the Hillsborough Whistle Watch. If you want a preview of what can happen there, turn into 88.5 FM tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Why? Because the president of LULAC is going to be on the radio with me, where I'm going to talk about the Whistle Watch, he's going to talk about this training, and we're going to get interviewed on Midpoint to talk about what are we doing to keep the Latino community safe during these times. Okay? 10 o'clock tomorrow if you want to get a preview of what's going on there. One last thing. Save the date, May 16th. From 11 to 3 is going to be our picnic. We're going to have Emmett on the grill, so lots of delicious food. Also, any alcohol that is present there is behind the grill with Emmett.
26,
So.
not 20. 26, not 25.
Oh, 26, sorry. Yep. Typo. But May 16th, 2026. All right. Now, we just came off that huge win with Brian Nathan, right? Flipped a seat that we should not have won, in large part because of the work that this club did and the data that this club provided so that they could target the right people. Shock of shocks, other politicians want that. So guess what? We've been asked to help in Plant City that has an election in May. In Plant City, their version of city council has 2 seats that are up, and we're going to win them. Just like we won Brian Nathan. And it's going to freak the Republicans out even more. That next election is happening, let's see, Tuesday, May 26th. We have this meeting and the next meeting between now and then. We're going to do some postcards today. We're going to do some postcards at the next meeting as well. Who are our candidates? We've got Tony Smith. Tony's a Florida native, which is rare, right? Tony's from Plant City, former firefighter, union member, son in the Navy. He's kind of a regular guy. Started a fitness program and a coaching thing. Cameron Henry, super sharp. Knows all about the environment, loves to support local farmers in Plant City, which is a huge issue out there where a lot of our agriculture comes from. So, what do we need to do? Couple of things. We need to knock doors. Now, here's the good news. We're going to run the data behind the scenes for the campaigns, for the county party, and for a couple of other PC groups that are gonna throw some money at this. Which means we're gonna make sure the right doors get knocked. So we're not gonna waste your time. If you have the capacity, they have a Flip Plant City Commission Blue by Knocking Doors link. And I've got the schedule on the next slide. You have the capacity to knock doors. You can go to this link here at the top, because God help us, Democrats cannot get marketing into their minds. They're like, what if we made the link 7 paragraphs long? So that's the link up at the top. Every Friday between now and the election from 5 to 7, they're knocking doors. Every Saturday between now and the election, they're knocking doors. They're meeting at the Panera Bread in Plant City to start. So for each of these, so if you can go on a Friday, be at that Panera Bread on a Friday at 5 or a Saturday at 11. If you don't want to go to that giant link, just show up. You don't have to have signed up ahead of time. Okay? This lets us knock the doors that will help us flip that seat. Okay? How else are we going to flip the seat? The same way we did with Brian Nathan. We are going to target the exact right voters, and we're going to start doing that tonight. We're going to do some postcards, because again, East Hillsborough. We stop talking, start doing. We're going to write some postcards in here. For Tony Smith and Cameron Henry. Who are we writing to? We got permission from both campaigns to take 354 voters who signed up to vote since Trump got elected. Haven't had a chance to cast a ballot yet. Their first ballot could flip a seat red to blue, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to write to all 354 of these people and let them know, hey, you got an election coming up on Tuesday, May 26th. And your first vote for Tony Smith and Cameron Henry could flip that seat from red to blue. We'd love to have that be your first vote, right? That's what we want. We want to make a difference. So, because the runoff just happened to where we found out who the candidates are going to be, I set in on the strategy meeting for both campaigns on Monday. So I do not have the addresses printed off yet like I normally do, where normally we have teams, right? Where we have people writing, another group of people putting on addresses, another group of people putting on stamps. We don't have that for today. I'll take care of addresses and stamps. We'll get that sorted out. Today I just need people writing postcards. So what I would like for us to do right now, it is 7:13, so we got plenty of time. I would like for everybody to write 10 postcards, if that's possible, hitting that, hey, Tony Smith and Cameron Henry have an election coming up on Tuesday, May 26th. Your first vote could be the vote that flips a seat from red to blue. Sound good? All right. I'm going to start passing out some postcards right now. That would be great. Of course I do.
Has everyone signed in? Did you count it? I didn't count. No. I think she did.
Give everybody 10. We're shooting for the match.
I was like, I'm definitely missing.
I will pass out pens in just a second. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. Already jumping in. Honorary member, I like it. All right. I think that's 10.
While we're doing that, Jan Snyder is running for CD 16, and we're trying to get her with the petitions. Has anybody not signed the petition?
I know. I was like, oh man. I was like, I got a postcard.
All right.
Sorry, that's what I have left. She's got that.
From last about 30 years ago. Which side is which?
All right, on the left side it is blank. Do your writing on the left side.
Oh, yes.
On the right side will be where I will put the postage and the stamp for the address. Does everybody have postcards?
Did you leave me some, Laura?
We're going to do postcards here.
I
Use them. Oh, you have it.
I think however you feel most comfortable. The one thing I will say, feedback that we got from the Brian Nathan campaign, the postcards that were most effective had your signature at the bottom. So write your name at the bottom when you sign it. So it's from Janet, it's from Anna, it's from Drew. Just put your name at the bottom, because then they know it's a real person who wrote it. So don't even put your full name. Just, hey, first name only, just write your signature at the very bottom.
Did I call that commission or
Your
council?
birthday.
Commission,
Oh, did we run
Plant
out?
City, commission. Did everybody get cards?
No,
No?
I think we ran. Oh, do you have
Did
more?
we run out already?
Well, yeah, that's okay, we'll just pass it around. We'll give
Oh,
people-
yeah, I was gonna say.
I was gonna say, I'll give.
Yeah,
some-
so Tony Smith and Cameron, the election, real quick, the election in Plant City
You don't have to do that, son.
is for the entire city, and there will be two Democrats and two Republicans on it. These are both the Democrats for seats 3 and 4. The Republicans for seats 3 and 4 will all be on the election, so they'll get to cast the ballot
Anybody else need
for both of these people.
We'll take a few more back here.
Anybody that's better than
City,
citation or scratch. I'm gonna type.
Oh, here, I have extra pens.
All right.
There you go.
So then we are gonna run back exactly what we did with Brian Nathan, where we're gonna target subgroups like this. We will do this again at the next meeting, where we'll do some more postcards, okay? And we're gonna get those out so that we can make sure we get these 2 Democrats elected and flip 2 more seats here. Because these are the seats that typically get ignored, right? In fact, I'll tell you, my wife happened to knock on the door. She was doing door knocking for an organization, knocked on the door of one of these candidates. You know what she heard? These candidates hadn't even heard from the county party. Had not heard from the county party. Not doing anything. We have to do the heavy lifting. There is no one coming to save us. The state party's not coming. The county party is not coming. It is us. We're the line of defense.
See?
Very nice to meet you.
Like a political party, don't you think they have some sort of policy related to this? I really do. Right? They would probably do.